Ever get that feeling? Like everyone's kind of watching, not in like a creepy way, but just
Mhm.
you're hyper aware you're there.
Okay.
It's the opposite of feeling invisible, and it can get so draining. So today we're diving into this whole idea of being a what they call a gray man. It's about taking back some of that control.
Yeah, it's definitely not about, like, literally being a gray man, haha, or even disappearing. It's more about moving through the world, but intentionally. Blending in, not attracting attention you don't want, like strategic anonymity.
So less by thriller, more
Yes.
ninja in everyday life.
I like that. That's a fun way to think about it. Being prepared, observant, but not, sticking out. The goal isn't to actually be invisible, just to not be the most obvious target,
Mhm.
not attracting unwanted attention, basically.
Okay, makes sense. I can already see how that'd be useful, like in airports, crowded places,
Yeah.
or even just
Yeah.
online, right?
Yeah.
But why is this gray man thing so relevant now specifically?
Well, it's like we live in a culture obsessed with visibility. Stand out, be loud, document everything. But that pressure to always be on, it's exhausting and can make you feel vulnerable.
No, tell me about it. I once posted like a picture of my cat in a silly hat, and it spiraled into this whole online debate about animal cruelty. You just never know.
Right. The Green Man way is more about you choosing when and how to be seen, taking back control so you get some peace of mind. It's not about fear, it's about that control.
I get it. But how do you actually become a gray man? Do you got to wear a special uniform or something? Talking code?
Haha, no secret handshakes or anything like that. It starts with figuring out your why. Why blend in? What do you want out of being less visible?
Hmm. Is it safety,
Mhm.
privacy, or just wanting some peace in this like increasingly chaotic world?
Could be any of those. Once you know your why, you can start to, put it into practice. One simple thing is practicing awareness. When you go into a room, take a second to observe what's the vibe, how are people acting, try to blend in with that instead of trying to like dominate the
So
space.
it's not invisibility, it's more being tuned in to your surroundings.
Yeah.
Like a chameleon, but for social situations, right?
Like, got it. It's about being present but not conspicuous. You're watching, listening, but not being demanding of attention.
Hmm. I like that. That actually sounds kind of powerful.
It is. Now let's get into something a little more concrete, like your clothes, what you wear. It can either make you blend in or stand out like a neon sign.
Oof, yeah. Fashion faux pas, I've had a few. Once wore this like bright pink dress to a business meeting.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't give off serious professional vibes.
Uh-huh. We've all been there. The key with the gray man thing is thinking about clothes strategically. Neutral colors are your friends, like grays, browns, navy black. Go for universals, stuff that wouldn't be out of place anywhere, really.
So ditch the flashy logos, the crazy patterns, anything that screams, look at me.
Exactly. The point is being understated, not drawing that unnecessary attention to yourself.
I actually simplified my wardrobe a while back. Got rid of anything too loud. It was surprisingly freeing. I felt less self-conscious and actually more confident.
That's what it's all about. You're not trying to make a statement with the clothes. You're free to just be.
Yeah. I see how it all comes together. It's not the clothes themselves, it's the message they send, huh? And that message can be, I'm here to observe, not I'm here to be the center of attention.
Right on. And that leads to another important thing, behavior. How you move, talk, even your face. It all plays a part.
Wait, so should we all be walking around with poker faces and whispering?
Haha, not exactly, but it's definitely about being aware of your body language. Like, avoid unnecessary fidgeting or, big arm movements and those over the top facial expressions.
Got it. No interpretive dance at the checkout line.
Probably for the best. Remember, calm, composed, in control. You want to move through the world with purpose, but not attract too much attention.
Okay, so more like a swan gliding across a pond than like a frantic goose.
Now you're getting it. Intentionality and control, not drawing attention to yourself.
Right. Calm movements, toned down expressions.
Hmm.
What else?
Eye contact. Super powerful tool, but also a bit tricky. In crowds or unfamiliar spots, try not to hold eye contact for too long. It can come off as confrontational or too engaging.
So not staring people down, but not avoiding eye contact completely either. It's about that middle ground.
Right. You want to be observant, but not make others uncomfortable. It's a bit of a dance, but the more you do it, the more natural it feels.
And what about talking? Should we be whispering everywhere we go?
No need to whisper, but being aware of your volume is key. You don't want to be the loudest voice in every room, especially if you're trying to blend in.
I used to talk super fast when I was nervous, but I've been working on slowing down, speaking more. thoughtfully. It's amazing. I feel calmer, and people actually listen more.
It's amazing what those small changes can do. It's not about being someone else. It's about making your presence more intentional.
I'm really starting to get this whole gray man thing. It's like you're taking charge of your own energy and how it affects the world around you.
Exactly. That sense of control is what makes it so powerful. So we were just talking about flexibility being so important with the gray man approach, that ability to adapt, even when things get kind of messy.
Oh, messy. That's funny you should say that. This whole idea of blending in, not making a fuss. It reminds me of this time I was traveling in India, of all places.
Ah, India. Yeah, blending in there is a challenge, to say the least. What happened?
Picture this. I'm on this train, packed with people, all these sights and sounds and smells, like sensory overload in a good way. And I'm trying, to be respectful, just absorb the culture, but not stick out like a sore thumb.
Definitely a good goal, especially somewhere as vibrant and, well, culturally rich as India.
Right. But then, oh man, disaster struck. The train jolts suddenly and I spill my chai everywhere. Not just a little bit. I'm talking a full-on turmeric-stained tsunami on myself.
Oh, no, that's like the worst case scenario for anyone, let alone when you're trying to keep a low profile.
It was. I was so embarrassed. I just knew everyone was staring at the clumsy foreigner who couldn't even handle her tea.
Yeah.
But then something totally unexpected happened. Instead of judgment or whatever, people were so kind, so helpful.
That's the thing about people, isn't it? Sometimes it's those vulnerable moments that bring out the best in us.
I know, right? People rushed over, helped me clean up. They were offering tissues, water, even a spare shirt. It was then I realized that blending in, it's not just about avoiding bad attention. It's also about making space for good connections to happen.
That's a really great point. By not needing to be perfect, you opened yourself up to a more genuine experience.
It's like they say, right? Sometimes you got to get messy to get real. And that mess, being vulnerable, it actually makes you more approachable.
It makes you human. And in a world where we often feel so disconnected, those moments of shared humanity, they really stand out.
It's crazy how something as simple as a spilled cup of chai did teach you about life, yeah, I know, and those unexpected plus sides to the gray man way.
It shows that sometimes the best way to stand out is to, well, let go of that need to be noticed in the first place. Just be present, be helpful, open to connection, even when things get a bit messy.
So it's not blending in for its own sake. It's more about leaving room for those genuine moments, whether it's helping someone or just a shared smile with a stranger.
Absolutely. And that's where the true power of it is. It's not just self-preservation, it's contributing to a more compassionate, connected world.
So we've officially busted the myth that being a gray man is about being aloof or whatever. It's actually quite the opposite.
Right. It's about being present, engaged, open to those connections, even in the least expected situations.
Well, speaking of unexpected situations, I think it's time we talk about the elephant in the room. Or maybe the go bag in the corner. We talked about being prepared, but full disclosure.
Oh, what's the confession?
Okay, so I have my go bag all set. Water, snacks, flashlight, all that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this one kind of quirky item I always include.
Ooh, I gotta know. What's this essential gray man item you can't live without?
The deck of cards.
A deck of cards. That's an interesting choice.
I know, right? It sounds random. But think about it. You're stuck somewhere, like a flight delay, power outage, zombie apocalypse, whatever. Cards are instant entertainment. Solitaire, teaching someone a new game. Heck, building a card tower if you're ambitious.
Haha, I never thought of it that way. Great way to pass time, de-stress, even connect with people. You could do magic tricks, go from gray man to life of the party, just like that.
Exactly. It's all about that adaptability, being resourceful, which are total gray man skills.
And it reminds us that preparedness, it's not just the physical stuff, it's your mental, emotional well-being too. Cards can be a good distraction from stress and even spark those little moments of joy. Or connection, even.
So if you're ever feeling lost, overwhelmed, remember, there's a deck of cards out there waiting to be shuffled, dealt, ready to bring some magic into your day.
I love that. Good words to live by. And on that note, maybe it's time to move from the tangible things to the less tangible. We've covered the physical, the digital, but what about mental and emotional preparedness?
Oh, that's a good point. Gray man isn't just about blending in and safety. It's got to be about having the mindset to handle life's curveballs.
Exactly. It's about having the mental and emotional tools to stay calm, centered, even when things get tough. And one of the most powerful tools, I'd say, is mindfulness.
Mindfulness. That sounds a bit new agey for a gray man conversation, doesn't it?
Don't let the word throw you off. Mindfulness, it's not just about incense and meditation, though those can be good too. It's really about being present, aware of your thoughts and feelings, but without judging them.
So instead of getting caught up in anxiety, overthinking everything, I just observe those thoughts and feelings, not let them control me.
That's it. You're creating space between you and your reactions, so you
Mhm.
respond to situations with more uh, clarity and intention.
I can see how it'd be super useful when things are stressful.
Yeah.
Stay calm.
Yeah.
You're more likely to make good decisions, not just react.
Exactly. And the more you practice mindfulness, the more natural it gets. It's like working a muscle, that mental muscle, to stay grounded, no matter how chaotic things get around you.
Okay, how do you actually work that mindfulness muscle, though? Just sitting quietly, trying to, like, empty your mind.
Could be that simple, but there are tons of ways to do it. Pay attention to your breath, how your body feels. Just notice the world around you, but with curiosity, not judgment.
So instead of zoning out on my phone at the bus stop, I could, like, focus on my breathing, the sounds, what
Mm.
I see, just be present.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the easier it is to get to that mindful place, even when you're busy, stressed, whatever.
This is so interesting. Mindfulness, it's like the secret weapon for a gray man to stay calm,
Yeah.
collected, even when everything's going haywire.
It's about building that inner peace, that stability, so you move through the world with more confidence.
Okay, I'm sold. Mindfulness added to my gray man toolkit.
Mm.
But let's be real. There are times when even the most mindful gray man needs more than deep breaths, right?
For sure. Sometimes we gotta assert ourselves, set boundaries, maybe even take action to protect ourselves or the people around us. That's where tactical empathy comes in.
Tactical empathy. Okay, that sounds kind of
I,
intense.
I know the name's a bit much, but it's basically about understanding other people's points of view, their emotions, and using that to de-escalate conflict, get through tough situations, putting yourself in their shoes, even if you don't agree with them.
So if someone's being aggressive, instead of fighting back, I try to figure out what's making them act that way. Find a way to calm things down peacefully.
Exactly. It's about recognizing everyone's got their own stuff going on. And sometimes the best way to handle someone is with compassion, even when it's hard.
Wow, that's powerful. Like using empathy as a shield, deflecting the bad stuff, making room for a peaceful solution.
It's about seeing everyone as human, even when they're not at their best. That ability to connect, even in conflict, that's a true gray man's strength.
This is blowing my mind. Gray men isn't just blending in, staying safe. It's about being a better, more understanding person.
You got it. It's about using these tools not just for yourself, but to make the world a little kinder, a little more peaceful, one step at a time.
Wow, we've covered a lot today. From spilled chai to tactical empathy. So clear now. Gray man is way more than just blending in.
It's about intention, awareness, being adaptable, and yeah, compassion. It's this ongoing journey of becoming better versions of ourselves.
So we've been, really getting into this gray man idea,
Yeah.
blending in, being prepared, but also all that deeper stuff like mindfulness, even tactical empathy. It's way more complex than I thought at first.
Right. It is, and that's what makes it so interesting. It's not like a list of rules, more like a way of looking at life.
Yeah.
More intentionally, more aware.
Intention. Yeah, that makes me think about, well, purpose. What's the big picture, the why behind wanting to be a gray man in the first place?
That's a good question. It's different for everyone, honestly. But at its core, I think the gray man way is about taking back control of your life, your choices, how you react to the world, like reclaiming your agency.
So it's not so much about disappearing, but more about you choosing when and how you want to be seen, heard, or involved.
Exactly. It's creating that freedom, that independence, especially in a world that feels so out of control sometimes, so demanding.
It's almost like building this like invisible shield around yourself. Not to shut everyone out, but to decide how you want to engage with everything.
I like that. It is about creating that sense of safety, not with walls or anything, but through awareness, preparation, and that confidence of knowing, hey, I can handle whatever comes my way.
And that confidence, being sure of yourself. I feel like that kind of radiates outwards. Like when you're grounded, people sense it and they act differently towards you.
It's like you're not attracting that unwanted attention because you're not giving off that vibe of like needing something. You're not trying to prove yourself. You just are.
And that just being can be so powerful. It's like saying, I'm here, I'm present, I can handle things, but I don't need your approval. Something like that.
You got it. That can be so freeing for you and for the people you're with. It makes those interactions more genuine because you're not trying to impress anyone or put on a show.
I used to think being a gray man was all about like being stoic, not showing emotion. But the more we talk, the more I realize it's totally not that.
It's not about pushing down your feelings or pretending. It's about understanding them, knowing how to handle them, and then choosing how to express them.
Emotional intelligence, right?
Bingo. Knowing what you're feeling and what other people are feeling and using that to, deal with those social situations better and with more kindness.
So less robot, more better human.
I like that. It's using these skills to be more aware of yourself, more adaptable, and better able to bounce back from tough stuff.
This makes me think about leadership, actually. Imagine a leader who's like got all these gray man qualities: calm, observant, prepared, empathetic, but also, when they need to be, decisive.
That's a powerful image. It shows how the gray man idea could, change not just individuals, but even how we lead
Hmm.
in all parts of life.
What if leaders focused more on working together instead of competing? Listened to more than they talked, or more about helping others than, promoting themselves?
That's a beautiful thought, definitely something to aim for. Because the gray man way, it's not just blending in, it's about leading with purpose, with compassion, and really understanding people.
I see how it all connects now. Gray Man, it's kind of like a guide to making a better future for ourselves and for, well, the whole world.
It's a journey, figuring yourself out, always learning, being open to new things, even when it's scary.
And it starts with that one choice: to step away from all the craziness, to watch, listen, and then pick your own way.
To make your own life, to build a world that's, fairer, kinder, more like what we believe in.
And that, everyone, is what being a gray man is all about.
Using intention, being aware, having that quiet confidence that you can handle anything.
It's becoming the best version of you, not for the praise or anything, but because it feels good to live a life that's real, that means something, and that's truly fulfilling.
And on that note, this is where our deep dive into the gray man world comes to an end. We hope this has given you some things to think about and maybe even inspired you a little.
But remember, the journey doesn't stop here. Keep exploring, keep learning, keep growing, and keep embracing that gray man power within you.